Attendance tonight, 14,459, 14,459 for a gate of 1.71 million, beating our last time here last April. Fight of the night, Diaz versus Johnson. And performance of the night, Luque, and also our champion, Rafael dos Anjos, $50,000. Congratulations to those guys. I believe we have Matt Erickson with the first question. Go ahead, Matt.
If I could start with the champ, please. Congrats on the win, on your first defense. I think a lot of people saw this fight as being close, and it wasn't really close at all. Did you foresee a scenario in which you could dominate him the way that you did?
Yeah, we knew that I have 25 minutes to win the fight, but on the way for the octagon, and I was talking to my coaches, Roberto Gordon, Master Rafael Cordeiro, and they say, yeah, we have 25 minutes to win the fight, but don't miss any opportunity. If you feel you connect some hands or some other thing, take advantage of it. And then I felt, I think, like when I threw a body knee on him, it was the beginning of the end.
Did you lose track of how many punches you threw in that sequence? Because it had to have been probably 50.
Yeah, I didn't count. I have to watch the replay. I want to watch it. I didn't count it.
And what do you realistically think is next for you? I know that you mentioned Conor McGregor, but it's kind of uncertain if he's coming up. And how fast do you want to get back in there since you were able to take care of things so quickly tonight?
Yeah, since when I won the title against Pettis, I had my MCL injury, and it took me maybe 4 months to get better. And finally, here I am defending my belt, and I didn't have any injuries. And looking forward to come back as soon as possible. But like Conor McGregor has been said that he wanna come to my division, and I think it will be a smart decision for him. But if he wanna come, I will be happy to welcome him.
If I could move to Mr. Diaz, please. Hello, sir. Congrats on the win. If you could perhaps finish the question that Joe asked you in the cage and talk a little bit about coming back after a year off and not being able to get things done your last time out. And obviously you went kind of in a different direction in your post-fight interview. So, how did it feel to get back in there, and then how did it feel to obviously get a huge win?
It feels good to be back, and I had a good training for the training camp for this fight. And there's been last year when I fought, I had nothing, no really motivation, nothing to fight for. There was no fight. I've been fighting in the UFC since I was 21. I'm 30 now, so 9 years in the UFC. I have a lot of fights, and I was sick of fighting people just to fight. I want a good fight. I want fights that matter and make sense, because sometimes when you're just fighting to fight, there's no motivation in that. I want to fight good fights, big fights that count. When I fought Dos Anjos, it was hard. It's hard to get up and train for that fight. He's a really good fighter. He does well, but he was not the biggest name at the time, and things didn't go so well. But then now this guy, Conor McGregor's coming back, and he's doing all this big stuff, and everybody's calling him out left and right. I'm not like these guys, begging for no fight. But we're talking about big fights. He wants a big fight. We could fight, and that's a big fight. And that's the kind of shit I'm talking about. Real fights, not funny, fake fights. And I know how to fight Michael Johnson. They gave me a list of names, and he was the highest on the list. No one knows, not too many people knew who he was. I know who he is. He's got good fights, good wins, and does well, and hits hard, and he's a fighter. And I said, if I'm going to fight, I want to fight a fight like I used to watch in Pride, and real martial artists and real people who are trying to go in there and kill or be killed, take the guy out or get taken out, and fight to win. And that's what I saw when I saw his name. I watched some of his fights, and I said, let's fight him. He's number 5. Put me right back. They pulled me out of the rankings when I was ranked number 3, and I just fought Dos Anjos and Cowboy, and now I just beat number 5. So I I had reason to take this fight and what I was doing it for. And I think if we're going to see a fight that people want to see, it's going to be that fight with Conor McGregor. And we could do that shit tonight, whenever, next week. And so that's my motivation. That's why I train. That's why I come here to fight. And I plan on doing well when I do fight.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Michael, can you give your impressions on the fight? You obviously were disappointed in the decision, but take us through a little bit about what it's like to fight someone like Nate, who is gesturing at you and taunting and things like that. I mean, we asked you about it the other day, and you said you'd be prepared for it. What was it like to be in there with it?
It was an incredible experience. First off, Nate's an incredible fighter, and we went on there and gave you guys exactly what everybody wanted, and that was a fight of the night performance. But you really don't know how you're gonna react until he starts doing it, and he sucked me in. So congrats to him. As far as unanimous, I don't really think it should have been a unanimous, but it was a really close fight. So he really sucked me in with it. I got away from my game plan, and it is what it is. But we're gonna put that behind us and move and look forward to another big fight, hopefully.
Question for Nate down here, right? Best of luck in getting the McGregor fight. If it doesn't happen, if he prefers a title fight instead, are there any other names on your list in terms of fun fighters out there, fights that make sense? Are they all at 155? Could you go back to 170? If you don't get the McGregor fight, then what are you interested in?
Yeah, I don't think about. Time will tell, but I don't think I'm gonna be losing weight for any of these guys down here. That they're not too big of names anymore. At 55, I fought them all. So if there's something worth it in the future, we're gonna have to see. But yeah, definitely big fights is what I'm after.
Did you enjoy yourself tonight? You've said before that fighting is not really something you enjoy doing necessarily anymore. It looked like you were having fun this evening, though. Did you enjoy being in the cage tonight?
Dude, it's fighting. That shit hurts. You know what I'm saying? It's like, fuck. I enjoy getting the job done how it's supposed to be done and going home with the victory. I think everybody up here could probably agree that fucking fighting is a motherfucker, man. But it's like, it does feel good to win, come all the way across the United States and not get to go home. Mission accomplished and represent for my coach, Richard Perez, and all the boys, the team, Cron Gracie and Jake Shields and everybody. I appreciate everybody's help. And they always get the job done for me, so I'm very happy that I could get the job done and look good for my partners and my team.
Thanks, Nate. And then Rafael, just to kind of follow up on the questions you've been getting asked about Conor. You said that you don't think it's a good idea for him to move up. A lot of these guys want the McGregor fight. They're asking for it. You just seem like you're like, I'll take it if he comes up here. Is it what you want? Is that what you want next? Is a big fight against McGregor?
Yeah, we are not even on the same division. He's featherweight, I'm lightweight, but like he's been saying that he gonna come for lightweight division, and if he come, I'll be here.
And then one question for Alistair. Over here, obviously, there were some reports out there regarding your contract situation. I'm just wondering if there's anything you can speak on that, and what at this point in your career are you looking for, and if you are in a contract negotiation.
Well, my focus has actually been on this big fight. I wanted this fight. My entire focus was on it, and when my entire focus is on training and just preparing, and in that I just do 100% that and nothing else. So this is, the new reality. We're gonna have to look at it. What's going on, and I'm actually looking forward to it. I do think that a tighter shot is there. I'm very confident with the team and the people I have around me that we can pull that off. But let's negotiate and see what happens.
How does it feel sitting there knowing that you could be next in line for a title? Because you did go through a skid. You lost some fights. Did you ever lose a little bit of faith that that was going to work out for you? Because you came into the UFC, obviously that was going to be something you were going to get. Then you lost it, and then did you think you were going to reclaim it? Did you always have a lot of confidence in getting back to this position?
Well, in my career, I've been training 22 years and competing 19 years. I've had many ups and downs in my career, and it's something that comes with a win. Never give up. Just always keep going. Always keep positive. Always keep creative. Assemble good people around, and you're gonna do fine. And that's just something that I live by, that I hold on to. And now we're here, but I'm not done yet. I want to continue to keep going. So I'm already gonna head back into camp in January, and I'm gonna be ready for what's gonna be next.
Rafael, I mean, that was such an impressive performance in terms of your striking. Right over here. Talk about your evolution as a striker. I mean, what's been the key, on your journey to becoming one of the, the best strikers in the game?
Yeah, I started in UFC as a jiu-jitsu fighter, and since I moved to California, it's been 4 years now. It'll be 4 years in January. I've been training so hard with Master Rafael Cordeiro, and he's been able to, Master Rafael, he know how to, to treat fighters, and he's been helping me a lot. We've been training at King's MMA. And his stand-up fight is something like that I like to train. I enjoy training boxing, Muay Thai, and I think that's why I'm able to be improved all the time. I just turned 31 years old, and I feel that I've been improved every day more, and I think it's just a beginning.
Question for Nate. The crowd over here. It seemed like the crowd really got into this fight, and as it went on, it seemed like they got more into it the more you were kind of taunting and stuff like that. But are you conscious? Can you hear the crowd on something like that? Does it feed into your mindset?
A little bit, yeah, you could hear it, but yes or no, it's probably gonna go that way regardless. It's not premeditated. Kind of just go with it. How it happens as it goes. But I usually watch the tapes back and realize more so like people like that shit. I've been at fights where people are like, Diaz sucks. They're chanting, and at the end of the fights, they're chanting my name like, go Diaz. So. But usually I notice that when I watch the fights later.
And also, I mean, on Thursday you were drawing yourself onto the poster, and and then you show up and put on the show. I don't know if you feel like you sort of stole the show a little bit. It seemed like it got a pretty crazy reaction. But do you feel vindicated? You know what I mean? Kind of being able to do that. I felt like you thought you were going to do that on Thursday.
Yeah, I train hard, and sometimes I feel like I have shitty fights, and they're usually the most entertaining anyway. So if you train hard and train right and train with the right guys, I feel like, some of my worst days are better fights than the whole fights on the card. I don't think it's hard to be entertaining if you're just really fighting, because that's what we all tune in to see is a real fight. And I think people forget that, trying to be sportsmen, if you will, It's like this is a sport, but it's a fight first. And I think people forget that. And yeah, I'll fight him too. Lightweight champion. To answer the last question, if anybody at 155, I'd fight. Dos Anjos here, get my rematch. I forgot, I left that out, talking about Conor motherfucking Gregor.
Cowboy. Obviously not the outcome you were looking for tonight. Can you kind of take us through what the moment was where things turned? I mean, was it the kick? Did that throw everything off in terms of what you were able to get done in there?
I mean, sometimes you just don't show up to work, so you get your ass kicked. But hats off to some bitch. He did what he had to do. He got me with the knee, not the kick. The kick didn't land. The knee is what started it, and then he put a great onslaught of punches on me. So did a great job overwhelming me and doing what he had to do to remain champ. So like I said, sometimes you just don't show up, and in our profession, it's a bad day.
The layoff for you coming into tonight was longer than you ever like to have. I know that. So how soon do you want to get back in there after tonight? Do things change because this was a title fight and now you want to take some time off? Or will we maybe be hearing your name called like in January? Like
yeah, I have no idea how that'll work. I don't even know if they want to call me after that ass whipping. But yeah, I mean, that's what I do with fight. Sometimes you just don't show up, and I don't have an excuse. I wasn't there. So, I mean, he did a great job. He showed up and did what he had to do.
Desde que você ganhou o cinturão em março, você sente que as pessoas ficaram esperando a sua defesa de cinturão para dizer ou para te dar o crédito que você merece? E você acha que com a sua performance hoje você vai conseguir calar essas críticas e as dúvidas ou as pessoas que ainda duvidavam de você?
Eu acho que as críticas sempre vão estar aí. O José Aldo ficou 10 anos invicto e perdeu e está sendo criticado. E eu acho que eu estava esperando a minha primeira defesa de cinturão e para realmente, né, provar que você é o campeão. E é isso. Eu acho que a crítica vai estar aí sempre. Você pode ganhar, ter uma carreira vitoriosa, como o José Aldo, de 10 anos, e você perder, as pessoas vão te criticar. Mas eu vou continuar fazendo meu trabalho, treinando duro, e vou manter esse cinturão por bastante tempo ainda.
Dos Anjos, congratulations on the win. When do you see yourself coming back in the cage? It was a quick fight. When do you see yourself back in there defending that belt?
Yeah, man, I've been training hard since, I started my camp 5 months ago for this fight. When I signed to fight against Cerrone, I was 100%. My knee was a kind of 60, 70%. And as they start training, my knee start getting better. And 3 months away, I was 100%. So I was able to sparring everything. And I think I'm just gonna enjoy my family this end of the year, Christmas, New Year. And I'm active, I always like to be in training. Even when I don't have a competition coming up, I always like training with gi, jiu-jitsu. I'm active, And looking forward to January, I'll be back on track. And looking forward to come back soon.
This question's for Alistair. It seemed like early in the fight you guys were kind of feeling each other out. Was there a point where you saw something that you wanted to attack, or was it a point where you just took your shot and landed it?
Well, I have to say that Junior has very dangerous hands. He throws bombs. He's slipping punches too. So in the beginning, I really felt that he wanted to slip my attacks and then counter. Later on in the fight, he became a little bit more aggressive, and he started to plan a little bit more. And that's the moment I heard from my corner, this is the time. Throw it.
Question for Kamaru. Sorry to interrupt the conversation over here. Your demeanor afterwards was interesting because it seemed like you were sort of happy with the win, but also unhappy with your performance. Would that be an accurate way of describing it?
Yeah, definitely. It was accurate because, I've been training now for about 3 years. It seems relatively short to some of the guys have been doing it forever. But when I train for stuff, when I compete in all the sports, I go wholeheartedly into the sport. And I have nothing on my mind but the biggest prize there is in that sport. And so, the way I train, the hours and the times that I put in, I genuinely know that I will be king of the division one day. But, to get those big money fights, to get to that level, you have to be able to, perform everywhere. And I know I can always go out and get a win over anyone because I know they can't stop my wrestling. But at the same time, I know my hands are just as dangerous. But, sometimes you have a good night and you're able to put it all together, and some nights you just don't. And tonight I wasn't able to find that, to put it all together.
And a question for Charles as well. Right over here. It seems like as the sport continues to evolve, having a nutritionist by your side is part of the game now. People like George Lockhart, Mike Dolce, all the big fighters seem to have one, at least the ones who have trouble making weight. Have you considered doing this? Because if my memory serves me correct, I think it's 3 times now at featherweight that you've failed to make weight.
Charles, à medida que o esporte vai evoluindo, parece que torna-se mais e mais necessário ter um nutricionista do lado, como o Mike Dolce, como o Lockhart, né? E parece que é a 3ª ou 4ª vez que você não bate peso. Você não acha que seria bom você incluir alguém desse tipo no sua equipe?
Não, com certeza. Cada vez mais eu estou me tornando mais profissional. Cada vez mais eu estou me aprofundando nas artes marciais, treinando jiu-jitsu, boxe. E com certeza agora, essa próxima vez, a gente vai arrumar um nutricionista e pode ter certeza que isso não vai acontecer de novo.
Yes, certainly, as I'm involving in other things like jiu-jitsu and boxing, I have to include that in my camp too, and it's not going to happen again.
And just 2 quick ones for Karolina. Very rare, right over here in the back. Very rare to see a fighter make his or her debut on Big Fox, let alone one from the strawweight division these days. What was your reaction when you found out that you were going to get this opportunity?
For me, this is something amazing that I can be here. When I heard that I will fight on UFC, I cry all day, but it was tears of happiness, and still I can't believe that I'm here and that I won this fight.
And more to that point, I don't know how much of a fan of mixed martial arts you are, but you're sitting right next to a legend, Alistair Overeem, another one, and Nate Diaz. Is this all kind of surreal for you in your debut to be up there on a big show like this, next to these these big stars?
Yes, like I said, I can't believe this. Yeah, this is something amazing, really, really.
And then one quick one. Obviously, you're not part of the same team, but you're from the same country. Joanna is from Poland as well. Can you acknowledge the fact that she's made the sport more popular in Poland, and would you have any issues fighting her at any point in the future?
I know her. She is really amazing. I respect her very much. In Poland, she is very popular. But one day I hope I will fight with her because she is the best, and I want to fight with the best.
Any final questions?